Peace, 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 you powerful ass manifestors. Whoa. Whoa, welcome to it's Humpback Wednesday. And you are here for another conversation with the woes, period. All right. So we love to have you. We want to thank you for coming and okay, so I'm trying to get it right on IG over here. So we want to thank you for coming and seeing us today. So what's the topic today, ladies? I'm trying to do so much right now. So what's the topic, you ladies?
So the topic today is okay, you got it. Girl, I was trying to figure out which device I'm finna talk into. I don't know.
Okay, y'all. So we're gonna get it together. Okay. So what's up, you guys? Welcome to another conversation with the woes. It is I, Prophetess Asha, and we have Organic's beautiful self. We have Mystique Moon's beautiful self, and we are the woes. Whoa, whoa. All right. So, ladies, what's the topic today? What the fuck we talking about? Oh, I done already started cussing. Bear with me. Bear with me. What is it?
Understanding attraction using feminine energy.
Okay, so I got to remember to keep myself unmuted because y'all can't hear me over here. So this is what
It's gonna take
I'm
some
talking about.
getting used to.
Yes, it's gonna take a lot to get used to because one, I don't like being in the camera, and so now I got to be in the camera like two times. And y'all, it's so funny because I be sharing, because I've done podcasts before. I've had blogs, I've done podcasts, but this is a whole new ball game for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm at a new level. I have new things to teach. I've learned so much. I've grown so much. I've elevated so much. So we're just trying to get it together. Spirit is really leading. Whoa. And I'm excited about this. Mystique, I gotta fix this. So y'all go ahead and because I'm gonna do some things on the back end here. And go ahead and tell us about the topic and what you think about the topic and why it's so great today. And make sure you unmute yourselves on IG.
All right. So I'll kick it off. Organic. So it was okay, so feminine energy, we are talking about how to attract using feminine energy. And I feel like it's only right, and we'll revisit this when I should, get everything together. But I think it's only right that we do some definitions to kick it off, when it comes down to feminine energy. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna multitask because I'm good at it. And I'm gonna go feminine energy.
Tell them shout out in the chat. We see them in the chat. I see y'all. Do y'all see the comments too? So we got to make sure that we watching the comments over here. Hey, CC. CC said we look beautiful.
Okay, so on this is Google's definition. It says feminine energy is all of the nurturing traits it takes to connect to human beings in a meaningful and fulfilling way. It says it's compassionate, kind, empathetic, patient, emotional. It's about embracing your intuition and creativity. And I actually like that definition. That kind of hit the head on the nail. And then they go into talking about the traits. Again, it's nurturing, love, receptivity, receptivity, and I want to touch on that one. I need to get my pen and my piece of paper because we need to touch on that receptivity word, compassion and care, right? So what we want to talk about basically is how are you using your feminine energy? How are you harnessing these feminine traits to attract? Do you even consider yourself a feminine woman, not a feminist? Okay, let's get it. Let's make sure we talk about the differences. Not a feminist, but someone who has feminine traits, who walk in their divine femininity. So organic. What do you define divine femininity as? Like, because that goes into a spiritual metaphysical realm when you are tapping into your divine femininity, in my opinion. You know. But what do you think? Like, what is your definition? Because this definition to me is what I would have said. You know,
I also too, I wasn't expecting to like the definition of it.
right?
Yeah, when we ain't talking, I think we have to mute.
Just you, that's better. Just you. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. You were asking about the definition again. I'm sorry, say that again.
I was asking you what is your definition of divine femininity? Because I mean, and to me that is the definition as well. But when you talk about metaphysical on a metaphysical basis, on a like a spiritual basis, do you do does that definition touch like is that a good definition for that as well?
I think that was a good definition. Um, shout out to the beard. I think the only thing that I would add to that is the accountability aspect. But as far as everything else, I did like that definition.
Now, check this out. Okay, so I'm doing a little research as we're getting everything together. So it says one of the traits is receptivity, being able to be receptive. That is one of the traits of feminine energy, right?
Yes, that's a big trait. Okay, want to make sure that you're receptive. Somebody, what you
Is it still? Do you still hear the echo?
no, I think when everybody talks, if you're not talking,
Okay, what I was saying was, so one of the traits is receptivity, right? And so I look up receptivity, and it says able and willing to receive, and it also says ready to make. And I thought that was kind of dope, in my opinion, because when we talk about, shutting the fuck up, and we say this, the walls, we know what we mean when we say knowing how to be able to receive, being able to listen, being able to shut your ass up. And it's a lot of women that is against that concept when it comes to, walking in your divine femininity and attracting, because we are receptive, and that defines as one of the traits, being able to listen more than you talk. A lot of people bash that part of it. A lot of people bash the part of us being able to receive, and that's literally one of the traits of being of walking in your femininity. You know what I'm saying? And I'll even take it a step further and say, when you're dealing with spirituality and you walking in your divine femininity, you know what I'm saying? Like being able to not only shut the fuck up. But being able to decipher, use your discernment, use your gift, your higher get what a gift that's your higher self, being able to use that to decipher, being able to use that to discern, to break things down, to really see past what people are really saying and really see into them, have that compassion as well. So I feel like, and I'll read it again since everybody is on here. So I looked up I looked up feminine energy, and it says feminine energy is all the nurturing traits it takes to connect to human beings on a meaning and fulfilling way. It's compassionate, it's kind, empathetic, patient, and emotional. It's about embracing your intuition and creativity. And then down at the bottom, it says four traits of feminine energy is nurturing, love, receptivity, compassion, and care. And it says, as this being energy is the polar opposite of masculine energy, which revolves around doing. So I'm gonna go on mute. Y'all gonna do your thing.
So, welcome y'all. Thank you, Miss Mystique, for holding it down. While we was getting it together, I can't wait, y'all. I just want to do a sidebar real quick because I can't wait till we get it together too, bitch. This is gonna look good. Do you see this shit on here? Do you see this? This looks really good over here. I don't know if y'all saw the one on Facebook.
It looks
But go
really
on over
good.
to, yeah, and Spirit gave me this picture right here. It was the perfect one for this live today because it has the masculine and feminine in the background. Did you see that? Did you notice that, Keita? Okay. So welcome everybody to Conversation with the Woes. Okay. So we're talking about feminine energy today. And this came about because we as sisters have all been going through like some kind of transformation. You know what I'm saying? So we are all kind of elevating, evolving, and shedding. Alhamdulillah. A lot of us are shedding those old versions of ourselves, shedding that who we thought we used to be, old thought processes, survival mode. Like, I think that's been the most challenging thing, not to run back to survival mode. Walking along this journey, so and we have been, putting our foot back out there in the dating world, and so when we putting our foot back out there, and as we speak to more men and women, we are learning that I don't think women really know what it means to be feminine, what it means to have um, feminine attributes, and she just named a couple, well, four of them from what society standard means, but I want to go around and say, what does femininity mean to us? Now, y'all on Facebook and YouTube, y'all don't get the privilege of hearing from Dr. Smalls. So if y'all want to hear all four of our ladies, that she'll be on here next week. But if y'all want to hear all four of our ladies, then come over to my IG, align underscore with under. Look, it's on the banner. It's on the banner. Look at the banner. Look. Oh, sorry. Okay, focus. But what do y'all? What does femininity mean to you all? And I'm gonna go on mute.
Grace is the second word. Um, Cultivation, you know, um, life, you know, goddess energy. It's just so many things that is just coming to mind as I'm saying it right now. So, but yeah, phenomenal. It's just we just
phenomenal. I like that word.
Femininity has a lot of different meanings for me. But at the same time, that's what I've learned so far about it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, next.
I'm over here still. I've been thinking while you asked the question. Um, can you hear me? Good. Okay. It sounds better when I do it over here because when I undo here, I don't want to echo. But nurturing was definitely one of the ones that first came to mind. Patience is another one. cycles, um, spiritual, um, I'm trying to think how what I would describe the next word. Um, teachers. I think teachers is another one for me. Um, emotional intelligence. That's another big one for me when
Mm,
it comes to that as well. Um, anchor as like grounding. Um, and compassionate.
mm.
Compassionate.
Okay. I love it.
I love those. One of the first, oh, hold on. Okay. One of the first words that came to my head was love. Like just love. um, I like the word receptive. That word rang so loud in my ear when I heard it, receptive. Um, understanding and healers. Uh, you walk in your divine feminine, you are a healer naturally. um, creators, we create life. And just priestess, priestess. That word came to mind. My biggest one is love. With that you have compassionate, understanding, caring, fulfillment. you know so that's what comes to my mind when we're like some of the characteristics I think of.
Okay, so we getting it together around here, y'all. We getting it together, okay? So, some of the feminine, what I think about when I think about my femininity, all those things are absolutely true, and this is what I want to talk when God says that we are all those things. You know what I'm saying? And yet none of those things, because we have to learn how to get rid of labels, right? But all these attributes of feminine energy, these are excellent examples of how we as women need to learn how to begin to operate in. And so on top of everything that they just said, I would add in um sensual. I don't know if anybody said that. I would also add in demure. I don't know if anybody said that. So that's just like real graceful, real proper, you know, that I'm bougie. So but compassionate, all compassionate, accountability, spiritual creators, like all those things are perfect examples of what femininity is. So the question becomes, how do we operate in that? Because a lot of people feel like, and a lot of women, okay, we have a lot of women who operate in hyper masculinity. Y'all, it don't even operate in masculinity. Y'all done operated in masculinity so much that it is over masculine. Like it's just too much. It's too in overdrive. Okay. So how do we begin to, because the question, I mean, the topic is understanding how to attract, and not just attract your mate, but to attract in general. Okay, because this is what we are teaching you how to do. Attraction, attraction, attraction. The secret didn't give you the real secret. Okay, the secret did not give you the real secret. So there's a method to this madness. All right. So, but when I tell you it's all about attraction and allowing, and all those are feminine traits too, because then we can begin to go into, because a lot of people, well, I ain't gonna say that. So there's a spiritual, and then there's a physical. There's a spiritual, and then there's a physical. But most of the time, whatever is in the spiritual, that's the manifestation of us. That's how we need to operate anyway. So, how do we begin to operate? in our divine feminine. So, what are some examples of, and I can give you one. So, if we are being triggered by a man, okay, because we're women. So, if we're being triggered by a man, what is something that we can do besides be upset or get upset or want to cuss him out or demean him or say he ain't shit? Like, what's another way? What's another way for us to handle that to where we can operate in our divine feminine? Let's understand how, because operating in your divine feminine helps you be more of who you are authentically. And when you are more of who you are authentically, then you can attract what you really desire and deserve. So this is how you have to be able to learn how to operate in these emotions, because it's a balance. I mean, it's a practice, like it's a process. Because we women have had to operate in masculine energy for so long. Like, I'm not taking that from us. Okay. But now it's time, when you know better, you fucking do better. And that's just what the fuck it is. We no longer want to make excuses for the bullshit. Okay. Like, I'm tired of seeing women shaking their asses all the way. Look, and I love to twerk too. I love to shake my ass too. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's a time and a place for everything. Like, when did anything become sacred? That's another one, spirit. Alhamdulillah, sacredness. I love that for femininity. Being sacred, purity. I love that for femininity. Being pure. What, y'all want to get in on this?
The receptiveness that we were talking about, it goes into that, being receptive and actually assessing the situation before just acting emotionally. Oh, you might not be there.
Yes, we had an emergency. I apologize, y'all. Okay, push mute. Okay, so yeah, so we back. So again, and can you go over what you were just saying? And I'm sorry, y'all, but it was just an emergency. So what were you talking about?
I was saying that I would take the moment to be receptive, and going into like what we were talking about with the different attributes. I think this is a moment to be receptive and take a few minutes to actually see what offended me, why did I get offended, if I'm actually triggered, if I actually felt like what happened is something that I don't agree with, or if my ego doesn't agree with it. Um, which I think is the biggest part of a part of it, because if I just react, I could be just reacting off of ego or being triggered, and it actually may not be a problem, and I could be actually creating that problem by not being receptive in that moment to take a second and analyze exactly what's going on.
That is one of women's worst issues. Like that's one of our biggest issues right there, y'all. You understand what I'm saying? Like lack of accountability and not knowing who the fuck you are. Now, don't you understand? Knowing who you are is knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. So you're supposed to know where you're strong at and where you're weak at, where you need growth. Because weakness is not a bad thing. It's just a area to show you, okay, well, I need some growth in this area. You know, I want to become a better version of myself. How can you become a better version of yourself cussing everybody out, let alone a man? Right? But when we women are operating our, don't you know soft conquers hard? Do you understand what I mean when I say that? Hard don't conquer hard. You can't be a hard motherfucker and try to conquer a man. You can't do that. Hard does not conquer hard. Soft conquers hard. So that means that you have to be soft. Okay? And I want to talk about living in your femininity because a lot of people think, and a lot of men, they be feeling like for a woman to be feminine, then that just means that you just do whatever I say, or you just be submissive to whatever I say. But that's not living in our femininity, you ladies, okay? Living in your femininity is knowing who the fuck you are, knowing your purpose, knowing your dreams, knowing your goals, knowing the things that you want to do, and being able to stand firm in that, being able to walk confidently in that. And if you have a man that diminishes that, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. No, there are certain things that you should expect around your life in general. And if nobody, if you're not uplifting me, I don't give a fuck what part you play in my life. If you're not uplifting me, you're not here, right? So being a woman, and this is not just for my man, okay? I operate in my femininity with all men, okay? With all men. So that means that if, because I'll be on this app called Bigo, and on Bigo they be trolling. Okay, so the niggas be coming up there, right? They be yeah, okay. So they be coming up there, and you know they be saying all kind of triggering shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a different breed, bitch. We all are. Okay, ladies. Period. So but they be saying all kind of triggering shit to me, and they be having mad mama issues, mama and daddy issues. But it's like men refuse to see the shit about their mama. It's a little bit different when it comes to men and their mamas. Okay,
A
so
lot of
but
it
I
just
yeah. So I can always tell when they have mother issues. Like we live in our divine feminine. So that means we're receptive. So that means we allow information to come to us. We really walk this walk. Okay. So whenever they come in there and they cussing and they mad, I can, and they be saying triggering shit that hit my soul. But one, I remember the things that I teach. I walk my walk. So therefore, if it's coming out their mouth, then it's within me. So it's not coming out their mouth just for any reason. Okay, so that's one. Okay, what's coming out their mouth, I don't take it personally. I'd be like, oh shit, let me go check some of that because that's probably within me. Because why is it manifesting before me? Okay, nothing manifests by accident, you guys. You can be a deliberate creator or you can create by default, but nothing manifests by accident. Okay, so they be saying some triggering shit, but I take that time to love on them and still love on them. And then it's a way that it's a way that we can speak up for ourselves and still be feminine. Let's talk about that. What y'all got to say about that? Make sure you unmute it on both.
that's why I was saying something about making sure that you're not operating from ego versus you actually being offended. Because I feel like once you take the moment to actually differentiate the two, you then can articulate yourself to, hey, I don't think that was okay, and this is why I don't feel like it was okay, and this is how it made me feel when you did do this. Versus when you're operating from your ego, you're gonna have every fucking excuse in the world that don't make no sense to nothing. It's like you gonna say, shit, I didn't like the way you said it. I feel like that's like kind of a real hidden place that ego likes to play when you don't want to take accountability for actually being offended versus being an ego. And I think that can be a good way to help you understand why you feel the way you do. So if you separate that ego at that point, okay, so I really was offended, and I really didn't like how this particularly happened. So I can appropriate. So now I know that I can appropriately walk into the situation, articulating myself and why I felt offended.
Misty, did you want to say anything? B, did you want to say anything?
I think I'm lagging a little bit because I'm on the Instagram live with y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, and then they'll be able to hear you over here because I got it turned up and unmuted, so they hear you over here too.
Okay. For me, so far, part of my divine femininity is awareness. I've been learning to be aware, and then I've also been learning that my assertiveness isn't aggression, because I was having a hard time with the with the labels, and so I know that it's in being in your divine feminine, you're allowed to be assertive, So assertiveness is another one of my traits. But like I said, I'm still learning, so I'm kind of here just listening out. Really, I'm kind of being the student right now because I'm walking this walk as we speak. So
you're learning how to attract what the things that you want.
Right.
So y'all, that's what it's about. So how can you know? And then so empathetic, organic. Can you look up the feminine traits right here and read them off to me? You can look them up, like you can Google them. And I just want to go down the line, and I'm gonna give y'all an example of what it feels like, or how to move, or how to operate in some of these qualities, because a lot of us haven't been taught. Okay, we can only know what we know. Some of our mothers are mad masculine as shit, and they didn't show us the proper love, or they only taught us to be materialistic, or they only taught us to use a man for his money, or they only taught us to use a man for his penis. You know what I'm saying? So we have a lot of unlearning to do when it comes to, our gender, and to be able to, fully accept and understand what femininity is. Because ladies, I see a lot of ladies around here, and don't get it wrong. I don't want you to think that you cannot be career driven and not be feminine, because I hear a lot of men saying that you can't be a career driven woman and be in your femininity, which is bullshit. Okay, because even inside the yin and yang, there's a yin and yang. So what I mean by that is, even though we dwell in our divine feminine, we also are balanced individuals. So therefore, we know how to operate with in our balanced feminine and masculine energies to create the things that we want. But when we get our man, we get to fall back some, and we get to not so much be in that masculine energy, not so much, not have to be so assertive, not have to always be logical, not have to always worry about bills, not have to always go change a tire, because now, okay, we have that masculine energy there, that rock there. Y'all ladies don't understand, like, and we are all business owners on this right here. Okay, and there is no way in hell that we would ever say we don't need masculine energy. I know more than now, right now in my life, more than anything, I need a man. Is you fucking shitting me? Is you shitting me? No, I'm talking ding, right? That's just crazy, right? So I don't want you to think now, this is where I was going with that, because there are some career driven women who be like, I'm independent, I'm strong, and I don't need no man. Please don't be around me. Please don't be around me. Okay, because I'm independent, but it ain't by fucking choice. The fuck? I'm not around here being happy about that shit.
You can be independent, you can be strong, you can be career driven, and you can also embrace masculine energy. It's possible. Maybe some people aren't good multitaskers. I don't. But you can do them both. Like you can be. You just can't be hyper feminine. You can't walk it out. You can't walk around as a feminist where you are against the opposite. And I think that's where you know, that's where they have taught us as women, especially Black women, that you have to choose. You don't have to choose. You can have the career and the family. You can feel good about yourself. You can be a strong woman. You can be, you know, you can have a voice. You know what I'm saying? You can do all those things, but you can also, dwell in your feminine energy as well. I wanted to ask y'all a question. Is there hyper femininity?
So, yeah, because we always talk about how women we operate in a lot of hyper masculinity. You know what I'm saying? We go a little too overboard when it comes. We be having a little too much masculinity. And so the problem ain't too much femininity. Now, we have some women who are too passive. We have some women who will allow you to walk over them, who don't know how to speak up for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Who don't know how to nurture. So that would be considered hyper femininity. Most women are hyper masculine. Okay? So y'all are you're aggressive, not assertive. Okay? What's another? Insecure. You think you're secure, but you're not, and you're very insecure, but you're overly like raw, raw, raw. Gotta make this money to make sure, like you live in survival mode a lot if you're hyper masculine. Okay, because you're worried about your security. You're worried about your responsibilities too much. That's hyper masculine, right? We should be able to balance them. Yes, we know our bills are here, but we also know how to prepare for them. We also know how to, take care of them. Prioritize is the word I was looking for. We know how to prioritize to make sure those bills don't get out of control. That's balance, right? So a lot of women, like I said, but we've had to do that. This is something that we literally have to unlearn now, right? Because like I said, a lot of our mom, and even like my mom, both my parents was in the household, right? And I think my mom wanted to be a submissive mom. I think like a submissive woman, but it was just not in her DNA. Like, well, her dad wasn't there. He was an alcoholic, and he beat on her. I mean, he beat on my grandma. You know what I'm saying? So her idea with men was already, So when she saw my dad, she was worried about stability. She had two children. So she was worried about stability. So now you worried about stability. She's already in hyper masculinity mode. But that's how I know it can be beneficial, because her and my dad created 3 daycares behind that hyper masculinity. Okay. But she was also very emotionally unavailable. She was also very hard and rough. She was also stop fucking crying, And I can remember one time she was telling my dad, her and my dad was arguing. This is towards the end of their marriage. And it's funny because this stick out, I'll be rolling. But they was arguing, and she was like, she must have said like, don't fucking talk to me or something. And my dad was like, don't be cussing. And she was like, fuck, 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 fuck. I can say what the fuck I want to say. And that tickled the fuck out of me, because my mama didn't cuss like that for real. She like would say ass and shit, you know what I'm saying, and down, but like the F bomb wasn't dropped a lot in the household. You know what I'm saying? So when she dropped that F bomb, I said, oh shit, get him, mama. But see, but look, get him, mama. Get his ass. Right? That breeds in that disrespect. Let's talk about that. How we treat these men in front of our children. Because if we want to change the dynamic of relationships, it starts with us and how our children see us. Now, that's a whole word, but I'm going to let y'all roll on that.
Okay. I guess I'll say something. um, um, yeah, you gotta, yeah, you'll find yourself when you have a point to prove. You find yourself when you have a point to prove or feeling like you have a point to prove, operating an ego, that you won't care who you're around, even if that means you're in front of your children. And you'll be so fixated on trying to prove him wrong or trying to make sure that he's not telling you what to do that you'll do these things in front of your child or your children. And again, that's why, like Mystique was saying with that receptive word, being receptive, being and not only being receptive to him, of course we need to be receptive to what they're saying, but being receptive to when you need to listen to spirit and calm down and stop and pause and we can't hear your bell, but I know that's what you're doing. There you go. Being receptive and being receptive to the moment, knowing when to take that moment to say, okay, hold on, I'm tripping. Let me get myself together, or let me take 5 and let me be receptive to my surroundings and what's going on. Let me be receptive to the fact that my child isn't here in front of me and that this is not the appropriate time for me to display my frustration in this manner. You have to be receptive to that. And it's not so, and I think that, again, ego, we're so caught up with, oh, we're doing it for him. No, you're doing it for your child, one. And if two, you're also doing it for your own emotional intelligence, because we have to be able to scan ourselves. Like I said in the beginning, we have to be able to scan ourselves, stop, and say, okay, is this ego that I'm mad at, or is this I really have an issue here that I need to deal with? And you can't do that being 151 proof man. It's not going to work that way. So that's my little piece.
I want to add that as I'm growing and learning, evolving and elevating, I'm learning that there are very few moments that I need to like go off on a man. And reason being is, if I don't like you, why are you in my energy? If I don't like you, why am I even talking to you? Why are you here? And so even in those times of frustration or anger or confusion, because a lot of us, miscommunication that confuses us. You know, a lot of relationships is a lot of confusion going on because it's miscommunication. Even in those moments, I'm learning that as I'm walking in my divine femininity, that taking moments and steps back from situations, because I don't want to be that. I don't want. It ain't that I'm trying to be something. I do. I don't want to be that anymore. I don't want to yell. I don't want to scream. I don't want to be aggressive. I love being soft. That shit feels so good to me. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, if I if I'm in a place or if I'm around someone who takes me to that level, that means that you are an old reflection of me. That means that you should not be around me. Because if you have the ability to make me, first of all, a man should not put a woman in a position to anger her. Because if you respect who she is as a woman, if you respect that she is divine, a divine person, and if you respect all the things about her, there's a certain way that you act as well, you know, and how you talk to her, how you address her, how you just are around her should carry that, should carry the fact that she's you know, feminine. Treat her with care. Put care package, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be very careful. And so for me, it's like I'm learning that I shouldn't have to yell. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, there's going to be very few moments that me and you are going to argue. Very few. I will never shut down on you because I think that's passive and that's not divine femininity. But what I will do is communicate with you. I need a moment. And that is not just with a man. As you walking in your divine feminine, you don't just do that just when you're in the presence of a man, you do that with your sisters, you do that with your kids, you do that in business. You walk in that grace, you learn to walk in that grace every moment, every day. And as I'm learning that, like it's becoming more apparent for me because I was very hyper masculine. I was very hyper masculine. You know, my both parents was in my household as well. However, it was a rough dynamic. And for some reason, because my mom was very feminine, honey. Like she was very feminine, maybe hyper feminine, because I had some of those traits in me as well. I used to tear because I would tell men if I would rip you apart with my words, boy. And like my mama used to be like, if a man slaps the shit out of you, you probably deserve it. Because I will eat you down on my Instagram without. But they'll still be able to hear me, right? Okay. I will eat you down with my words. You know what I'm saying? And as I'm learning, it's like there is really no reason for me to act like that anymore. Like there's no reason. I love me. You know, I'm in love with myself. I love the woman that I'm becoming. So I'm operating out of love. That's why I said love was the first thing that came to my mind when you walk in your divine femininity, because even in those angry moments, even in those moments, I still love you. And as long as I keep that at the forefront, that I love you, that it's love, even when I'm angry, even when it's time to release your ass, I can release you in love and keep it moving. To me, like, that's the ultimate.
Okay, so yes, I want to. Can y'all hear me on here too? Okay, yeah, I'm unmuted. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, what operating relationships are relationships, you guys. We try to make them different. Like we was talking to the woes today, and I literally like, the only thing that I'll do different from my man, like when it comes to people that I love, is like we'll be having sex. Like that'd be the difference, But how I go hard for y'all, how I go hard, like I do that
She
regardless. I
about to
do that
break
for
that
my
damn
friends
bell.
too.
No,
Ain't nobody
but
see you.
see, that shit go hard what she just said, y'all. It go hard. Like, and we always separate that. Y'all know that saying when a woman will
Organic, you
forgive
can
her
come down on IG if you want to.
a woman will forgive her friend, forgive her man, but will like cast out her friend forever. Y'all know that saying, this man, you allow this man to walk all over you and dog you, but the minute your friend do the smallest thing, you willing to unfriend her. I'll cut a motherfucker off quick, but you still laying around with that man who's been cheating on you for 20 years. I don't know.
Ooh.
I'm making up something. I'm just bringing it up, but that's what comes to my head
But
when
your
you say,
friend ain't cheat on you. Exactly.
right. Right, you just mad. She may have said a couple things behind your back because she ain't want to say it to you. She ain't want to hurt your feelings. We don't
Mm.
know. But the point is, when Asha said, I'm gonna treat you the same, I'm gonna give you that same grace that I gave my man. Only difference is I'm gonna be having sex with him and doing a little bit more catering to his ass too.
Yeah, yeah, because he deserved it. He put up with my crazy ass
Absolutely.
all the time.
He deserves it.
No, but that's what I thought about. Like, yeah, let's give everybody that same grace. Women, as we walk in our divine femininity, remember that same grace. That same grace that you would give a male man. You know what I'm saying? That grace that you would give your auntie, your cousins, and stuff like that. It's kind of it's equal, but it's not equal. Allowing that same grace, I think, should be equal.
Yes. And some people might have a problem with that. And if you do, then we're not in alignment. Because if you have a problem with how I treat my people, my family, you know what I'm saying? The problem is, I think that people separate. I don't see a separation between my sisters, my family, my loves. Like there's the only thing we love differently in each of those relationships. That's it. We love differently in each of. Well, we show love differently. in each one of those relationships. Okay, because we love the same in each one, right?
You
But
still
the way that we
operate from
show
your heart
love,
space with those
right,
relationships.
right, you know.
I'm
So
glad you said that like that. I'm
what,
glad you said that like that.
what we got B over here? What you say, B?
I said, I'm glad you said that like that. I'm glad you said that we love the same. We just show it differently because that's probably something that, like, I don't know why, but one of the things that I'm unlearning is getting hung up on labels. You know what I'm saying? And so this is why it's because I'm like so hell bent on labels sometimes. This is why I get tongue tied with expressing my words, or used to be. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm a little better at it because I have a better understanding now. You know what I mean? And so when you said it like that, because I always did wonder, like, do I love people differently, or do I did always wonder that. But yeah, I feel like I love the same, and I just show it differently. Like, I love people accordingly. Like, because I love you, if I know your love language is affirmations or something, you know what I mean? I'm gonna do that for you because that's my way of pouring into you. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of me. This is another something else that I've learned about, operating in my divine feminine. So definitely, my awareness is kicked in 100%.
And you guys, working in our divine feminine also means learning how to allow. And learning how to allow is a big thing in life. Okay, because we were just talking about dark moon seasons to full moon seasons. And when you are in that dark moon season, you're going to really have to learn. Like, I think that's when we dwell in our femininity the most, because that's the which makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when we create. That's when we really creating. We may not feel like it, but that's when we really creating in those moments right there. So when we are in those dark moon energies, dark moon energies, that's the time I think for us to really fall back into the divine. The more that we fold into the divine, the more I feel like we are operating in our divine femininity. And also, like, another way, because part of being operating in our divine feminine is being aware of your spirit in relation to your body. So you were saying that this morning, Mystique, about how you are starting to do that. That's because you are starting to be married to spirit, right? Your soul and your soul and your spirit and your body are intertwining. They're becoming one. And that's because you are more now operating in that divine femininity. You are learning how to allow. You are learning how to offer grace. And this ain't even to nobody. You are learning how to do those things to yourself. Because once you are able to do those things to yourself, then it is easy because it's natural now. Because you're so used to giving it to yourself. A lot of people think that you can't, like, because okay, so the one thing that I feel like most women, their issue with being feminine is they see it as a weakness. Would y'all agree with that? Would y'all agree
Yeah,
with that?
definitely. That's what I went
Absolutely.
through with my mother. Um, I would see her give everything because I was kind of talking about this on the piano the other day. I would see her give everything. I would see her give, to the household, to us, to her kids, to her husband, to her career as well. And it was like at the end of the day, she didn't have anything. And I
Mm-hmm.
used to equate that with a weakness. I used to equate that with
Mm,
having to like always look out for someone else and never really having nobody to be there for you. So in my mind's eye, when I used to look at feminine energy, I would equate it to weakness because I used to think that
mm,
it was essentially you just giving up your identity of who you are.
mm. Goodness gracious, y'all, we ain't got time to dig this deep now. Y'all bringing up new shit now. because that right there. Like my mama went through that, y'all. I always tell y'all, I feel like my mama, she died from a broken heart, because after her and my dad got divorced, she did not know herself anymore. All she was Miss Taylor. That's all she knew herself to be. And so when she wasn't that anymore, she didn't know how to act. She didn't know how to move. She didn't know what to do. It was really a sad thing to see. You know what I'm saying? Because I always saw my mama as a strong, mean motherfucker. You
I
know what I'm
call it the
saying?
silent killer for women. I call it the silent killer because um even my grandmother was the same way when she passed away. I used to think the same thing. Like, did she die because she felt like it was like her husband had died, her children were grown, wasn't nobody in
Yeah,
the
she didn't
house
have no
anymore.
identity.
She like, yeah, it was like you had no identity. And I've seen this for so many women, so many women.
Well,
And
and it's funny because when you say that now, I'm thinking like we are so hard on the outside because we are so soft on the inside. You feel me? So we are so hard on the outside because we have to be, but when we on the, like we because we don't want to be hurt again. We don't want to be vulnerable because we don't want our hearts broken again. We don't want to be feminine because that is kind of a vulnerability. But because now, okay, now I'm saying that I need you, man. Now I'm saying that if I can operate in my total femininity, I cannot do that by myself. I'm not able to. Go ahead, Steve.
I was thinking about that. I'm glad it came full circle in my mind, what I was thinking and what y'all was saying, because when you first said when you become one with yourself, your spirit, your body, everything becomes one. And then you said it's looked at as a weakness. What I am learning is the more I become one, the more I understand that if no one is valuing that, if no one is seeing that as if the man isn't seeing that as a strength, because a man should look at femininity, that feminine energy and dwelling in that, walking in that as a strength, because that's something that he does not have. He does not have that, and so that is you lack that on a real higher level. Then that's what I'm contributing. That's what I'm bringing. And if I can discern if I'm dealing with a person who respects it and holds it up, then I no longer have to feel afraid, and I no longer have to feel taken advantage of. Because that was my biggest thing. I would feel like I would give myself and I would be taken advantage of. But that's because
Mm,
I wasn't one with myself yet. So I didn't understand how to say, well, I could this person don't deserve this part of me. Like they don't
mm,
deserve it. So I'm not going to give it to them. I
mm-hmm,
can still dwell in it without fear because I know that I'm not going to give that energy to the wrong person anymore. You feel what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm,
I'm safe. I'm safe with it. I can safely walk in my divine femininity. So now I don't have to feel like it's a weakness.
right,
mm,
right.
Baby,
And
as
that
long
right
as you can
there
learn
is
how to, but first you have to learn how to be that with yourself. That's what I didn't understand. I hopped from relationship to relationship to relationship without getting to know me. And then once I got to know me, I began to find that safe space on my own. So now when I find my husband, he will be that safe space because I can dwell in my feminine energy safely. He will never take advantage of it because it's a strength that he don't have that he needs. When you want
mm.
to know what I'm bringing to the table, that is one of the main things I'm bringing, divine femininity. It's something, man, that you desire or you should, unless you are divine feminine.
and that's
Okay,
why
you saying.
and a couple people might not like this, but that's why I feel like that was even more confirmation because I'm a firm believer that divine feminine energy is the purpose of emotional intelligence,
Mm,
because we have to have this um intellect about ourselves when it comes to emotions, not just for ourselves but our whole entire family.
mm-hmm,
We have to cultivate these same intellect into our children as well.
mm-hmm,
Whereas, in that moment, you have to be emotionally intelligent to know, like, okay, let's say maybe you are going through a moment where you're dealing with your identity issues and you're trying to figure your place in your household. At that point, you got to say, damn, if I'm dealing with my identity, my children probably watching me deal with me trying to figure out my identity. Let me go talk to them and go see what they feeling. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? So that's why I really, really, really been like on been that's kind of been my thing I've been meditating on this week, is about the emotional intelligence that comes from us and how important it is for our children and even our men, because it does it's almost like the guidelines, like, of
Mm-hmm.
how we can both be able to to be there for each other, because some men don't always come with the knowing of that. You know what I mean? And I think that when
Well, a
we
lot of them don't
operate,
because they ain't seen their mama do it.
they ain't seen their mama exactly. So that's why I
Oh,
think it's so
hold on, be
important.
talking, be talking. Hold on.
Oh,
Go ahead, B.
I'm sorry to cut y'all off, but I was just gonna say,
Can y'all hear her?
yeah,
Okay.
we can hear her.
A woman like me, that's raising 4 boys and 1 girl, take heed to this if you're in the comments, because this is something that you want to tell your sons. A lot of us women say, I can't teach a man how to be a man. Well, when you ask a masculine man what does masculinity mean to him, accountability and being able to effectively communicate your emotions is probably going to be two of the top 5 things he's going to say. You know what I'm saying? And so these are the things that you should tell your sons. Real men take accountability. Real men are able to effectively communicate their emotions and how they feel and stand strong in that without worrying about what others think.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me right now, I just to let y'all know, I'm taking notes. You know what I'm saying? So instead of telling my son I don't know how to raise a man, these are the tools right here. A lot of people like to say, we talk about these topics with no solutions. And so if you're really listening, the solutions are given. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all gonna have to, you listen to it, write it down or something, but the solutions and the tools are here when we're on these panels every Monday and Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Period.
Thank you for that, B. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So I thank all y'all for I think we need to talk about this maybe Monday or next Wednesday. We need to talk
I
about this
think we
again
should.
to where we can be settled, and you know what I'm saying, where the flow can be right, because there was a lot of shit going on at first today,
We
and we've
got
been
it
on here.
together now, though. I think we're gonna be
Yeah,
good
yeah, I think
coming
we're gonna be
doing this
good
again.
next time. So I'm real excited, So y'all on IG, let me turn this around quick. So you guys on IG, okay? I'm trying to see if I can record this because it wasn't. I don't think it was recording on this one, so I don't know what was going on. I don't know. Maybe it did. I don't know. I'll know when I end the
It looked
broadcast.
like it is in the top corner. It says it's
Yeah, I
live with a
see.
red,
Okay.
and I
Yeah.
think that means it's recorded.
Okay. So usually on Conversation with the Woes, it'll probably be recorded. And if that's the case, y'all, we could do it earlier. And so that way we could still post it to IG at 8 o'clock. But we'll discuss that on the back end. But either way, on IG, it's going to be recorded. So we love to hear your comments. We love to hear you guys interact, right? So we want you to come over to our YouTube, follow Women of Alignment on IG, follow Women of Alignment on YouTube, and make sure that you are listening. Now, soon we will definitely be on all all podcast platforms. Okay, so we are going to be on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're going to be on all those platforms. Okay, so you're going to have plenty of ways to, listen to an elite sisterhood. Okay, listening to a bunch of aligned ass motherfucking women. But because I didn't really dig deep into this conversation like I wanted to this time. That's why I said we got to do it again. I don't know if we
So we
feel
just do
good.
a part two. Part two.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we feel good, and if y'all not busy, then let's try to do it like Friday or something. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. Well, I gotta make sure. Girl, push mute on your other phone. So I gotta make sure that Mystique is okay, because she be working, and she be doing a lot. So but if not Saturday, but because I just want to hurry and get back into this topic, because I feel it on me. Like I really I want to talk about it some more, because I don't even think that we even begun to scratch the surface actually. Like we kept hitting topics. I need to write these down. We didn't get to ask our questions. Yeah, we just gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do a part two. We're gonna have to do a part two. Okay, IG, we're gonna do a part 2 for you. Maybe we'll do a part 2 strictly on IG. How about that?
That's a good idea. I
Yeah,
um I learned some things in this conversation though. You know, so I took a lot of value, from what we were saying, what we were talking about. So this was a good session as well. It was a little
I do
chaotic, but
agree.
yeah,
Well,
but it
beauty
was
comes from
good.
chaos. Beauty comes from chaos. Light comes from chaos. So healing comes from chaos. So you can't run from it. We just have to learn how to manage it, which is what we did. Alhamdulillah. Okay, damn, Spirit be teaching. Y'all don't study my background, okay? I'm in my niece's room, so don't mind your fucking business, okay? So I love y'all so much.
No, you can't
All
even
right.
see nothing.
I don't care. I see it. That's my ego. You gonna let me not want people to see it. Yup. Look, I'm talking about y'all know them motherfuckers on Bigo be screenshotting. I don't
That
need none of
just
Look,
that
like
she
shit.
a look,
traumatized.
just like a nigga for her to be like, you good, and you be like, let me be mad, let me still be able to
Yeah,
say
let me be
something.
mad. Let me be mad.
Ain't got shit to be mad about.
Look, and then I'm talking about that's not dwelling in my feminine energy.
See. Mm-hmm.
But look,
But
y'all, we're
I
gonna
don't
talk
know if
about
y'all
that
saw
too.
in the comments before we go right quick. It said that hyperfemininity, which is defined as exaggerated adherence to a feminine gender role
Mm.
as it relates to heterosexual relationships. Hyperfeminine women believe that their success is determined by maintaining a romantic relationship with a man, and that their sexuality can be used to
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
maintain this relationship. I had to
Half
read that
of
So
that
your
definition
mother
again.
was,
definition is I read that, girl. Half that definition, I was like, oh, okay. And the other half, I'm like,
yeah,
I
the
don't
first
know.
part, it didn't start resonating to that last part. It didn't start resonating to that
Right,
last part.
right.
Yep. So see, we be in alignment. So we're gonna talk about it some more, y'all. We gotta come back. We gotta come back and we're gonna have our setup. Cause I was like, I wanted to put my green screen up today, but I ain't have nothing to put it up on. So I'm gonna have to go buy something. You know what I'm saying? So, but we finna get professional on y'all ass, baby. Okay, we getting there, baby. All right, get out your ego, Asha. Okay, y'all, we finna go. Keita, you wanna tell them, lead with your heart and
Oh
lead with
yeah,
your info.
absolutely. I'm also streaming on She Sound Off. Yeah, me. Make sure y'all go to She Sound Off and subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I be dropping them good gems and them good nuggets and all those good things that my mentor prophetess Asha teach me, along with spirit, along with my own research, along with my own motherfucking growth and intelligence, baby, and my
She
woes,
really
because
did the
we learn
work. She
from
really
each
did
other.
the work.
We co-create, okay?
Mm.
But I also wanted to say that self-preservation is the first law of nature. Love yourself before you love anything and anybody else in this world, and lead with your heart. Lead with love, and everything else will follow. Thanks for popping by, y'all.
Organic. You could just
Oh,
say it on here. Don't mute yourself on IG. Yeah. No. Mute yourself on IG. Unmute yourself on this one.
okay. Yeah, y'all make sure if you ladies that may have been watching tonight and y'all like with the conversation that we have, and we have many conversations like this, and y'all are interested in joining Elite Sisterhood, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and follow my founder and my co-founder right here. This is Organic. No more got the tea.
Right. She becoming a better person, you big old bitches. All right. Oh shit, I'm being petty. I'm being petty. That's that.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I gotta work on. That's not feminine. That's not
It's,
feminine.
look, I think maybe we should start that. Maybe we should start a trend like that where we do something
Right.
like,
That's
hey,
not
that's not
feminine.
feminine.
Yes, we're gonna do
That's not
that.
feminine.
We're gonna do that.
We need to do videos be like,
That
hey,
I
that's not
love that.
feminine.
I love that.
We love that, right?
I'm gonna be tearing that up when I do something.
Yes.
So that's gonna be our excuse for doing stupid shit. But like, that's not feminine.
But like, that's not feminine.
That's not feminine. So I digress.
Yes, we're gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna help y'all see what is
Yeah,
feminine
we
and
can
what
give
is not.
examples. You know, exactly.
Yes,
Some
we're gonna
people
give
are visible.
examples. Yeah, that's dope. See that's called co-creating. You see how that happened, and that's what the Bible mean when two or three are gathered. That's what they mean. Okay,
Yes,
when two or three
ma'am.
are gathered, source come in and show the fuck out. Okay, so IG, we will be back later this week because we're gonna have a part 2 and we're gonna dive deep. We're gonna be able to really go in. We're gonna get into hyper femininity. We're gonna get into hyper masculinity. Okay, because we do both of them, but we need to be
Right.
balanced, ladies, and then understand that when we attract everyone, but when we attract that man, to learn how to release, I don't want to say control, but release your feminine energy.
Release
Release
fear.
that shit.
Keep it back to the
Okay,
basics. Release
yeah,
fear.
release your feminine energy. Okay, because that man, when he don't he don't need more masculine energy on top of more masculine energy. Hard does not conquer hard. Soft conquers hard. So if that man is hard and masculine, we have to be soft and feminine. Go on, spirit. Okay, we're gonna go. So I love
I
y'all
mean,
so much.
and also to think about it too, that hard D going that soft yoni.
Woo!
Metaphors.
Okay, I'm gonna go because y'all not gonna have me on here.
That's not feminine, Asha.
Okay, that's not
That's
feminine.
not feminine. That's not feminine.
You have to be demure. Check it out.
Right.
That's
I
not
gotta
feminine.
I gotta be demure. All right, bitches. All right. So I love y'all so much. There's great motherfucking love for y'all here. Y'all go forth with the power of source behind you. Dare to be different. Dare to dream your destiny, and stay the
Stay
fuck
the
alive.
fuck
Okay.
alive.
You say tell us how to release it. Come back, and we definitely are going to talk about that shit, sis. So
I just was getting ready to tell it, but yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so we are definitely going to talk
Yeah,
about
save
it.
it, save it, so you can come back.
Stay tapped in, and we'll be back either Friday or Saturday, and we're going to dive deep into this because we women, like, bashing each other is not going to help us heal, right? But holding each other accountable will, and we do that by holding ourselves accountable, right? Because it always say when you pointing one finger at you, you got 3 more looking at you. I mean, yeah, y'all get the shit. All right, so I love y'all so much. There's great motherfucking love for y'all here. Y'all go forth with the power of source behind you. Dare to be different, dare to dream your destiny, and stay the fuck aligned. I love y'all. Peace. Whoa. Hey, the beard. Okay, popped out and
And
came
we
back.
need some music. I would start playing music at the end when we start.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Oh, bye, y'all. Bye.
Oh.
Oh,
We
yeah.